Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Rudolph. Rudolph comes from the ancient German hrod wulf, from the Germanic elements hrod meaning fame and wulf meaning wolf. Therefore, the name Rudolph means wolf of renowned or famous wolf. Rudolph was an important name in medieval Germany, having been associated with the Hapsburg dynasty, starting with the 13th century Rudolf von Hapsburg, the first Hapsburg king of the Germans, to the 19th century Archduke Rudolf, Crown Prince of Austria-Hungary and heir to the emperorship. So the powerful European Habsburg monarchy basically started and ended with a Rudolph. This is because the prince never assumed the emperor role, for which he had been groomed his whole life. Instead, at the age of 30, Rudolph died under mysterious circumstances in an apparent murder-suicide pact with his 17-year-old mistress, an event which made international headlines. Because Rudolph's father, Emperor Franz Joseph I, only had one son, i.e., Prince Rudolph, the next in line to the throne was the emperor's brother, who renounced his succession, which passed on to his own son, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, Rudolph's cousin. Franz Ferdinand's assassination in 1914 would set in motion World War I and, as they say, the rest is Habsburg history. Rudolph is the spelling used by German, but it is also the traditional version used among the Scandinavians and Slavic people. Personality of the boy named Rudolph. The number 4 personality is marked by stability and discipline. This is the personality that follows the rules and is conservative by nature. They have an earthbound energy that prefers to build things methodically on top of firm foundations. They don't cut corners. 4s take their time and don't like to be hurried. But the outcome of their endeavors is likely to result in some strong and useful structure, which makes them great engineers and inventors. 4s are anything but frivolous or controversial. This is a trustworthy, straightforward personality that embodies dedication and organization. They are the backbone and anchor in their relationships, careers, and communities. They are tidy, punctual, and full of integrity. Hard work comes naturally to a 4, and they are immensely reliable. This is the personality you can always count on. Popularity of the boy named Rudolph. Rudolph's history of usage in America is pretty brief. This version of the name was most likely brought to the United States by 19th century German settlers and used with fairly low frequency. Rudolph finally fell off the American male naming charts, seemingly permanently, in 1941. The English-speaking population has typically preferred the Rudolph spelling with the PH. Quick facts on Rudolph. Gender, boy. Origin, German. Number of syllables, 2. Ranking popularity, not applicable. Pronunciation, Rudolph, Rudolph. Simple meaning, famous wolf. Characteristics of Rudolph. Practical, conservative, dependable, studious, solid, industrious, hardworking. Cultural references to the baby name, Rudolph. Literary characters of the baby name Rudolph. Rudolph Rassendyll is the red-haired hero of Anthony Hope Hawkins' 1894 novel, The Prisoner of Zenda, which was enormously successful as an early example of the swashbuckling genre, and was adapted into a stage play as well as several successful films. Rudolph is an English aristocrat who travels to Ruritania on holiday and just happens to become involved in a dastardly plot. The king, Rudolf Elfberg, is a victim of his brother's plot to usurp the throne. Because the two Rudolphs look amazingly alike, our Rudolph is recruited by the king's loyalists to take his place at the coronation while the king goes into hiding. The king's evil brother, however, finds him and locks him up in the dungeon of Zenda Castle. In the meantime, the rather indolent Rudolf Rassendyll is having quite a good time. Oh, he does wish to free the real king, of course, but he also just happens to fall in love with the king's fiancée, Princess Flavia, who is unaware of the switch. Well, honor takes the day, we are happy to report. Rudolph rescues Rudolph and returns Flavia to her rightful, suitor, and everyone goes home happy. Particularly Anthony Hope Hawkins, who quit his boring law practice to write full-time.